Alawapa, dear friends, we are jumping back in to our study of the compilation on race unity from the Universal House of Justice from Letters to Individuals dated 1996 through 2020. So I will be starting in on the segment from the March 27th, 2014 letter, which is the 7th entry in this compilation. Surely, racial prejudice has for too long stained the fabric of life in the United States. And although the Baha'i community has made enormous strides in the past century, like in so many other aspects of the teachings, the response of the believers to this challenge has not yet reached the expectations Abdu'l-Baha held for them. While Shoghi Effendi clearly expressed that the solution to this problem rests with both races, it cannot be denied that any failure or lessening of effort in redressing the problem within the framework for the social and administrative affairs of the community has its most immediate and negative consequences on the minority, as the majority can lapse into the unconscious state the guardian warned them against. The House of Justice well appreciates that for a Baha'i, the injuries arising from one's interactions with a fellow believer can be especially painful. The guidance provided to the friends by the beloved guardian and the Universal House of Justice offers a clear way forward. As you know, Shoghi Effendi in his masterful discourse, The Advent of Divine Justice, gives African American and white Baha'is detailed instructions as to their respective responsibilities in combating racial prejudice. A tremendous effort, he emphasized, is required by both races if their outlook, their manners and conduct, outlook, manners, conduct are to reflect in this darkened age the spirit and teachings of the faith of Baha'u'llah. Let neither think, he added, that such a problem can either easily or immediately be resolved. Each person of whatever race or background was called upon to take the initiative and not allow what he perceives to be the shortcomings of his fellow believers to be the cause of his becoming apathetic or vindictive. By responding to the situation within the spiritual framework the guardian has devised, one's actions may be imbued with the spirit of the faith, thus making them potent instruments for effecting a change in the hearts of those who have inherited attitudes tainted by racial prejudice. I'm going to read that again. So, by responding to the situation within the spiritual framework the guardian has devised, one's actions may be imbued with the spirit of the faith, thus making them potent instruments for effecting change in the hearts of those who have inherited attitudes tainted by racial prejudice. Discuss. It's really interesting that there is the spirit of the faith, our words and actions being infused and animated by the spirit of the faith can help change hearts. Change hearts. Effecting a change in the hearts of those who have inherited attitudes tainted by racial prejudice. Beyond the spiritual orientation to combating racial prejudice with which the friends in the United States are well familiar, I just want to go back to that again because I think that's really, it's personally really hitting me. Responding to the situation within the framework within the spiritual framework the guardian has devised. One's actions may be imbued with the spirit of the faith, thus making them potent instruments for effecting change. So it's not even our words, it's our actions. And responding to situations within a spiritual framework. Okay, moving on. Beyond the spiritual orientation to combating racial prejudice, a spiritual orientation to combating racial prejudice, with which the Friends in the United States are well familiar, the House of Justice has in recent years attempted to bring to the attention of those who long to eradicate the blight of racism, and especially the African American believers, the potentialities. I just read totally wrong. I guess it's especially the African American believers who want to eradicate the blight of racism, to bring to the attention of those who long to eradicate the blight of racism, and especially the African American believers. Okay, got it. The potentialities for transformation inherent in the systematic implementation of the instruments and methods of the current series of plans. As the Friends pursue their efforts to promote growth and community building, social action, and involvement in the discourses of society, they will over time work increasingly with other well-meaning people to eliminate these and their problems that have so bedeviled the world. A profound illustration of the possibilities this approach holds is found in the video Frontiers of Learning, commissioned by the House of Justice and available on the website baha'i.org/frontiers. It describes how the translation of the teachings into processes of community building in some of the most advanced clusters is beginning to address deep-seated social ills. An example cited is the Bihar Sharif cluster in India, where the centuries-old oppressive caste system is gradually being dismantled at the grassroots. As the video shows, communities are learning to mix without regard to caste, and a mother states with profound conviction that she will never tell her child into which caste he was born, so that he will neither feel inferior nor superior to any other soul. The House of Justice longs to hear of bold action being taken by the Friends in the United States, who, by implementing the essential activities of the 5-year plan and utilizing the spiritually transformative power of the Training Institute, begin to uproot racial prejudice in neighborhoods. Abdu'l-Baha made it clear that those who steadfastly strive to promote the oneness of humanity will endure hardship and injustice, and he taught that to be wronged and oppressed in the path of God is a divine gift, for it is a characteristic of the manifestations of God. And since the ancient beauty was exposed by day and night on the field of martyrdom, he counseled, "Let us in our turn labor hard and hear and ponder the counsels of God. Let us fling away our lives and renounce our brief and numbered days. Let us turn our eyes away from empty fantasies of this world's divergent forms and serve instead the preeminent purpose, this grand design." You are encouraged to take heart from the Master's assurance that racial prejudice will one day be eliminated from the face of the earth. Although, as the guardian explained, the road to be traveled will be long and thorny, beset with pitfalls. In summoning us to the great work of creating anew the world, Baha'u'llah exhorts us to adhere to a standard of conduct which he himself so nobly exemplified. Adorn thyself with my virtues, in such wise that should anyone stretch forth the hand of oppression against thee, thou wouldst neither take notice nor contend with him. Leave him to the judgment of God. Leave him to the judgment of thy Lord, the all-powerful, the almighty, the self-subsisting, and be thou long-suffering under all conditions. By God, this is one of mine attributes, though none but the sincere are appraised of it. Know thou then that the patient sighs of the oppressed are dearer to God than all deeds, could ye but comprehend. Be patient in whatsoever may befall thee, and put thy trust in God thy Lord in all thine affairs. He verily doth suffice thee against the harm inflicted by all that have been and shall be, and doth protect thee within the shelter of his cause and the strong hold of his custody. Ya Baha'u'llah. So that concludes the segment from the March 27, 2014 letter, the 7th passage in this compilation. I don't know what page it is, but anyway, thank you for continuing this really important study with me. I am going to continue this compilation until we finish, but I also think I'm going to go back and read that specific 6-page section in Advent where Shoghi Effendi really addresses this, and share that with you as well. By the way, thank you so much. I have reached 500 subscribers, which is amazing considering how niche this material is. So thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. And these videos are meant to be shared with anyone that is studying this, or you would like to share some of this content with. So share, like, comment, all of those things will help more people be affected by this amazing guidance. And I wish you the best for your efforts making this world a better place. Thank you for joining me.